Hey, every YouTube guy and all the guys that been checking out my model builds and stuff. We're going to start this video out with something a little bit different to lead into the couple models I got to show. But anyway, we're going back in time. This is my blast from the past. This is going back about 27 years to 1991. Back in the early 90s, I had a Toyota 4x4 pickup. I bought it, and after having it for a while, I start working on it, customizing it. I did a little bit of tweaking on the suspension, went with a rugged trail suspension setup and all that. Kind of went for the off-road look rather than the big lifted monster truck look. I was more into the sleeker off-road look, and it was more practical because besides showing it every weekend for about a year and a half or 2 years, it was my daily driver, so it had to be practical to be getting in and out of it and stuff, and taking on people on, gals on dates and stuff and all that. But this is going back to 1991. The four-wheeling off-road Northern Nationals up in Union Grove, Wisconsin. I actually competed in the tough truck competition and won first place for the weekend in the tough truck and the obstacle course and all that. And I got a few of my trophies that I still kept. I kept about a dozen and a half trophies. I had about 60 of them over the 2-year period, and I donated a lot of them to a school to use for different awards. Just change out the top part and the nameplate and stuff, and they could use the trophies for other things and stuff. But I kept the ones that were kind of special to me. Most of the trophies that I won, I usually placed in every show, first, second, third, and I think I got 1 third, and all the rest were firsts and seconds. I got one show I did. It was real special, and I got a perfect score, 100 points on the judging. And most of them were in the upper 90s, maybe between 95 and 99 as far as points go. And the more you show it, the more the judges look for. Every show they get harder and harder on you and stuff, and they make it really tough and stuff. I mean, I had points taken off because there was a strand of hair from my girlfriend on the passenger side headrest and stuff. But anyway, you can't see it on that picture probably, but along the side of the vehicle where that fading to silver stripe goes, that was all outlined with really wild colored graphics that I had custom designed out at a place in Schaumburg, Illinois. They die cut them for you and stuff, and then I did all the work putting them, applying them myself. The truck was named Sundance because the paint was everything was matched. The wheels were custom painted to match everything, the center of the wheels and all that. And it was called Pro Red, and I gave it the name Sundance because in the evenings when the sun was starting to go down and it hit the truck just the right way, all the body lines, they looked like they had a blackish tint to them, like an outline, almost like a black fading into the red, and it was a pretty sharp looking color and stuff. So, but I had a lot of fun showing a truck like that every weekend, and sometimes 2 days on a weekend. It really burnt you out and stuff, and every Friday night was spent numerous hours cleaning it. I mean, down to the frame, taking the wheels off the inside of the wheels. I mean, they judge every little nut and bolt. You talk about rivet counters when it comes to models. Car shows, the judges are just about as strict. I mean, if they don't see no dirt someplace one week, they'll look someplace else the next week that you can't even think of them looking and stuff. And they rub that white glove under there, and if it comes up with dirt, and the thing about car shows, it's not how much money you put into them, it's not how much work you do, it's all about how clean it is. It's got to look spiffy. And all that, but I did all the add-ons, the roll bar, the KC lights, and the front brush guard, all that's chromed out and everything. The side tube steps and everything, those were painted by me to match the rest of the paintwork and stuff and all that. And it was a lot of fun. With the 31s, so it had I just tweaked the suspension just enough to lift it with the torsion bars and the leaf springs in the rear, and just to give it enough a lift to clear 31-inch off-road tires and stuff. And it was a good old time, bring back a lot of memories. And the highlight of that show It was the four-wheel and off-road jamboree, and it was nationwide. It had traveled around every month. It was in a different area and stuff. This was the Northern Nationals. It was a pretty big show up in Union Grove, Wisconsin, and it had the monster truck show to go along with it. The highlight of that show was the new truck Snakebite. And if you go on YouTube and look up Snakebite videos, one of the first videos pops up is 1991, the show I was at, where he lost control. They had a real short landing area after they did their jumps. They lost control and he crushed one of the a little wooden shed that they had set up where they were actually doing the registration the day before. So it's a good thing that there was no people around there. Otherwise, there might have been some injured people from that little wreck. But he landed right on top of it and flattened it and stuff. So anyway, that leads me into the couple model kits that I'm going to show off now. I built these back in the early 90s. I'm going to say maybe 94 time frame. I got the Bigfoot. That's I believe that was Bigfoot 10. And then I got the original Snakebite and everything. And move this back a little further so we can get a better shot of them. But this is these are glue kits. I believe they were AMT glue kits, 1/25 scale. The Bigfoot, that's pretty much the normal and stuff back then. I think this was a 94 Ford. That's when they went with the more rounded off front end and everything. And in fact, I owned a 94 Ford. It was a two-wheel drive, but that's one of the reasons I built the models. And I thought, back then I was into the truck and tractor pulls, and I still like to enjoy going to a few now and then in my home area. And I was into truck and tractor pulls, the monster truck shows, all that stuff, and I had a lot of fun. But we're going to go over the Bigfoot model and that. And these been sitting in a box for probably about 20 years or so. So I decided to pull them out. They're still intact. Their paint's a little dulled up from age and stuff, but I shined them up a little bit the best I could, and figured I'd do a video on them. This was with the new style racing frame and all that, where it was more like an off-road type setup and everything under them. And we got the everything else, the front end, that's all decal and stuff, as these trucks were fiberglass and pretty much the same like a NASCAR. Everything's like a decal or a body wrap and everything, but it's the other side of the truck, and we got the top, the cargo bed cover. I don't have the body able to remove it no more. It kept on falling off every time you wanted to show it and stuff, so I finally just ended up gluing it on. But you can kind of see all the detail and stuff. And this is also with the rear engine motors in them, the big old Ford blown motors, the rear engine and stuff. And you can get a better glimpse of it that way. They did run exhausts on these from the headers, but it was fun to build. I still think they're pretty cool to display once in a while, even though I haven't been pulling them out and everything. But I still get into, once in a while I'll watch the Monster Jam when it's on and stuff, and it's changed a lot and gotten really crazy, and it's almost like the WWE wrestling. It's kind of almost like a big soap opera and stuff with Gravedigger and all these new trucks. I don't even know half of them and stuff, but I kind of like better. I like the good old days better than the newer days and stuff with the monster trucks and stuff. And I did build the original Bigfoot truck with the tilt hood and the big blown motor up front and stuff. And that one I kind of got little bit, had an accident during one of the moves, and it was too far gone to do any repairs to it and stuff, so I no longer have that. But that was a pretty cool one. I mean, with the tilt hood on it and everything and displaying it. And I also had the USA one that went by the wayside. But anyway, that's the Bigfoot. And the Snakebite, that was pretty wild. I did him up just like the original first one. Back then he was pretty much just a bright red. Originally he started out with the red, those little eyes on the side there. He started out with red, then he changed them to green eventually. And eventually he changed them back to red on a different version of the truck, and they got then down the line they were lit up, and then they went back to green, and they were flashing green lights in them. And he's gone through many different colors. Then it went from red to like with a black overspray over the top of the truck, and kind of give it like a two-tone effect. And nowadays there's a green one that looks more like a venomous type, snake, wood. I mean, this is like a snaky looking one too. But so basically, this one was just same as the Bigfoot's 1/25th scale. This whole front piece was a separate piece that glued over the front clip and everything, the cab, and the rest of the truck is pretty much a stock pickup body, other than the wheel wells being enlarged for the big tires and stuff. But it's got the old fangs on the front. You got the bright green wheel caps on there. That was that he was known for. I think I used a acrylic paint for those, actually. Testers. I think it was just called bright green acrylic or something. Same with the roll bar. And then the top of the bed's got the Ford logo on there. As far as the body, this is back in the 90s when I did this up. I just went with the, basically it's got a lot of little raised deal, like for the scales all over the hood and the sides. So basically I went with the yellow where it was, and I took some of that lime green and dry brushed like the bottom edges of everything, and up a little bit around the scales up on the door panel over there. And then I took there was a fine tip marker, and I just went over all those little scale lines, because on the real truck they were highlighted in the black and everything. So I went over those with a fine tip marker to give it all the scale effect and everything. And then what I did is the real snake bite, it was a red, but if you looked at it from different angles, it had almost like a metallic, not just a metallic clear, but it was almost like a real faint lime green yellow overspray on it to give it a little bit of a more orangey tint. So what I did, I don't know if Tester still makes it, but at the time Testers had a real light lime green metal flake spray. And all I did was take and dust it real lightly with the metal flake green. And you can see when the light hits it there, it gives you that little cast and everything. And in different ways, it looks just red and stuff. But that gave it a real nice effect, too. And I just did, like I said, a lot of dry brush and everything. The back of the truck and all. And when rumor has it, when snakebite first started out, it was supposed to be like Bigfoot's enemy, and down the line you found out that was kind of like a little storyline that the Bigfoot crew, Bob Chandler and Marilyn Chandler, got into. It turned out to be big snakebite is an offshoot from the Bigfoot company, so it wasn't really like a competition. It's just something, a little storyline that they decided to do, is to give Bigfoot a little bit of a story background as far as competition goes and all that. Underside, pretty much the framework and everything, engine, all the detail underneath it is pretty much the same like the Bigfoot truck and all that. It's all that newfangled tube frame and stuff. There's a lot of parts to these kits as far as the assembly and stuff, and you got your shock towers over there with your nitrogen charged shocks or whatever they used on them and stuff. Those are all detailed, painted up and stuff. And then up in the back, they kind of sat a little different way. They were set up more like an off-road type suspension compared to the old style monster trucks when they ran them and stuff. So, but I just thought it'd be I thought I would have fun just showing these off, and I don't see too many videos on the old monster trucks and all that and all. And I thought it would be pretty cool to show them off, and a little bit of what I did when I had my own truck. Having my own truck, it was kind of like working on a giant size model kit, a life size one. But it was a lot of fun building these two trucks, and thought about maybe someday making a display, kind of like with the little like a dirt type arena type display, like with the, with the dirt jump on it, one of the hills, and have them kind of setting up on top of the hill like they're starting to make their jump to get airborne over the other side. And I don't know, I might just pack them away and keep them for another day to show off or something. So, but yeah, I don't have too many model kits from way back then. Like I said, this is from like 25 years ago, and this few of my kits survived and everything. I may do a couple more down the line. I got some Top Fuel dragsters and Pro Stocker models yet, and I used to build a lot of NASCAR Dale Earnhardt Senior and Junior. Those are all packed away, and maybe someday I'll dig them out and do some videos on them and stuff, but right now I got those mostly packed away. That's when they still used to sell model kits at Walmart, the Revell monogram NASCAR kits, and they still had the endorsements from Goodyear and stuff, so you actually had the Goodyear printed on the tires. You had the Goodyear decals for your wheel well, over your front wheel wells and stuff, and a lot of that stuff they don't put on the models no more because endorsements and copyright infringement and stuff. So it's not the same. I mean, you could order aftermarket, but you get to do so much aftermarket, and after a while, it's like if you're going to keep on ordering aftermarket, you're not going to be able to buy a kit and stuff. But I like the way these trucks turned out. I think they look pretty sharp. I like the Bigfoot truck and everything. The looks of him. It's just the regular basic blue metal flake and stuff that Bigfoot uses and all that. And like I said, the snake bite, I told you how I went about painting that and stuff, what colors I used and all that, and I think that one looks pretty sharp and all that, and it just brings back a lot of memories, the good old days when I did the car shows and had fun every weekend meeting different people and checking out different cars at the shows, doing stuff that I wouldn't have been able to at four-wheel and off-road jamboree, as far as the tough truck competition and stuff. And I really was really surprised when they called me out. I won first place for the entire weekend over 2-day events and stuff. So it was basically fast time. It was an obstacle course and a bunch of jumps and, kind of just like an off-road course would be, So it was a lot of fun. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And I don't know what I'm going to have next. I might do it. I got one more model that I built a while back. I don't have nothing really new to show. I've been doing some updating on some bases. So I'm gonna do some like redo videos on some old other models that I've already posted videos like maybe a year or so ago. I'm gonna do some redo videos. I do have another figure to do. And all that. I got more sci-fi, updated sci-fi models that I want to redo the videos on. I built some new bases to display them rather than the old round 2 dome bases. I do have a lot of Star Trek kits. Kits, some of them that I didn't light, I just built as a static model and stuff. As far as that, so I'll be showing those. I do have a couple Star Trek kits that I finished up over the winter and everything. And, that, so I'll probably be doing a video on those the next couple days, or even if I get to it today, I might do them even later on today. But here's your 2 monster trucks, and